I'd like to welcome you all to the 2018 Lambert Football Banquet. I appreciate you all coming. Is the sound okay? Everybody here okay? I always kind of want to start these off the same way and just tell you all how much it means to me and how much I appreciate it. And it doesn't, I don't know, I don't take it for granted, the awesome and incredible opportunity I have to coach you young men. You know, God's given you the greatest gift, and those are children, in my opinion. And the fact that you entrust my best friends and I to coach them every day, that's not lost on me, and it's not ever. And I appreciate that opportunity, and we love every one of these boys, and we do. And I think you guys, I hope you all know that, and I hope it shows through in how we coach them. As we get into the awards ceremony, the banquet tonight. We always kind of, laugh about award ceremonies as that I've experienced growing up, both as a player and as a coach. I have a little brother that got an award one year. In the defense, we have two outside linebackers. You kids know you got like a strong safety. Now he's a bandit. You got a bandit and a cowboy, right? There's only two. There's two. And my little brother one year got the best outside linebacker award. It's like there's four linebackers. They had the best inside linebacker, and then they had the best outside linebacker. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you're a senior, and the other kid's a junior, so coach just gave you a pity, award. I mean, and it hurt his feelings, but really, I remember thinking that was kind of silly, And I'm not even going to get into the awards that I got when I was a player. My wife and kids make fun of them to this day. So when I got the opportunity to do it my way, I really want to emphasize how important the seniors are to the program. And I'll take a few minutes to talk. We're going to take a few minutes to talk about all the seniors because they don't get to play high school football again. Talk about how important it is and how special an opportunity is. You can play pickup basketball. You can play home run derby in the backyard. You can go play soccer. You can do anything you want as long as you live. But after most of these teenage boys and as seniors, when they finish playing high school football, they'll never have an opportunity to put a helmet on again and go do what we do on Friday nights. It's a special moment. It's a special time. And we're going to take a little bit of time tonight near the end and really honor those young men. We'll recognize the freshmen. We'll recognize the sophomores and the juniors throughout the night, basically recognizing them either with letters of participation or with becoming first year, second year, third year letterman. And I don't spend a ton of time up here just trying to, let me word this the right way. I want all these boys to know that I love them, and I don't want anybody going home tonight feeling like they weren't recognized. Okay, and we can't spend the entire night talking about, 115 or whatever of you, so we're going to talk about you guys that don't get to play ball anymore. And that's why I do it the way I do it. It may not be the most popular, but hey, it hits me, and it means a great deal to me. So, again, thank you all for being here. We'll get started. And I want to thank my wife. She's at home, with my girls. We're a little tired today, so they're home just relaxing. All right. We got Coach Woodall, our defensive coordinator, his wife Desiree, children Elijah and Alex. Where's Coach Woodall at? Hey, all right. Yay, all right, yeah. Our defensive backs coach, one of our defensive backs coach, is Josh Pritchett, wife Ashley, daughters Logan and Reagan. Where's Coach Pritchett at? And he was standing up. That was him. Coach Baldwin, our linebacker coach, wife Fran, daughters Sarah, Kate, and Haley. Where's Coach Baldwin at? There he is. Our other defensive backs coach, Coach Brian Daughtery, he's sick at home tonight. He couldn't be here today, but his wife Karen and his children Bailey, Ethan, and Mason. One of our single bachelors here, I guess the only one, and that's Coach Minor, one of the defensive line coaches. He's a popular guy. He really is. Coach Hollingsworth, our director of film, wife Brooke, children Drew and Jackson. Offensive staff, Coach Jonathan Gordon, wife Shauna. Where you at, Coach? Coach Cox, wife Rachel, and children Wyatt. Coach Hill and wife Kelsey Hill. Coach Nesbitt, tight ends coach, wife Kaylin. Coach Scott Carlson, wife Katie, children Jake, Ellie, Sam, and Daniel. Another wide receiver coach, Coach Mark Schneider, wife Dawn, children Justin and Brennan. He's almost aspired to this Coach Miner as, I think. That's pretty good. And our running back coach, Coach Chris Spencer, and wife Laura. I got to thank Dr. Davison and Coach Ferrer. I think we all know who those people are. Without them, I wouldn't have this opportunity, and they're two of the best guys in education, two of the very best that you'll ever find. Athletic trainers Josh Bush and Kendall Fowler. Did Pat make it tonight? Hey, Jabbar, he's the best announcer in Metro Atlanta right there. I believe you. Yeah. That's a great job. We love Pat. Thank you, Pat. Team photographer, Mr. Kevin O'Brien. Split second images. Where's he at? There he is. Yeah. If you guys don't know about his website, go find they're the best pictures around. They really are. And you see them on screensavers all over the place. It says split second images and all the kids' phones and everything, you know. Horns Tracker, where's Tanner Booth? Where's he at? Guys, you know, you check on Twitter, the game updates, everything. That's Tanner. Did a phenomenal job. Thank you, Tanner, for your help this year. GS Digital Productions, all the video work you guys have seen. We've got Andrew, and he creates highlight through the year. You guys have seen the little highlights, the little blurbs, the hype videos all throughout the year. GS Digital did all that. I mentioned Coach Hollingsworth. Let's see, Grace Kelly and Catherine Conti. Where's Grace and Catherine at? Those are girls out there filming every day. A very thankless job. They also, Grace also decorated our Christmas tree in the office for these decorations we're taking, for these gifts we're collecting right now. So thank you, Grace. It almost looks as good as that tree. Almost. And where's Michael? Michael Hart supports Seth. Michael does whatever, anything. Mike does a great job for us. Now, you can't have a program like this without a very, very, very strong booster club, and I want to recognize, and we'll hold the applause to the end, just recognize our executive members. Miss Schimmelfinny can't be here tonight, but, I mean, Melissa's done as much for this football program over the last 7 or 8 years as anybody. She knows it inside and out. She's been around a very long time, and I think you guys know she came back this year without a son in the program just because she believes in it, and she wanted to give all these boys an opportunity to get the things they need and have a good experience. And Melissa's a very special person, and I wish she was here, but she wasn't able to make it tonight. Executive Vice President is Jim Bibb. Treasurer, well, you go ahead, let's do that. Heather Stang, she handles all the money. It's a big job. That's a big job. Handles all the emails and all the communication, all the notes and everything. And the secretary, that is Lori Wire. Let's go ahead and just do it, boss. Let's do it. Yeah. Vice President of Facilities, Doug Sagas. Where's Doug? There he is. Vice President of Communication and Public Relations, that's Nancy Aledia. Where Nancy's at. Vice President of Game Day and Volunteers is Ms. Stacy Sagas. Vice President of Events, who organized a lot of this happening tonight, is Karen Surio. And our Vice President of Sponsorship, which going along with the job that Ms. Heather Sting does, may be the other most important. You know, Greg brings money in, and then Heather handles the books. And that's Mr. Greg Doctor has done a phenomenal job the last 2 years of the job. Coach Snyder, you know, come. A very successful freshman year. Coach Snyder's going to talk about our ninth grade team for a few minutes real quick.
Thank you, Coach. Echoing the sentiments Coach Dennison earlier about entrusting us with your kids' parents, that really is underscored when you have a freshman. Obviously, it's a new chapter, an adjustment, call it what you want, coming from middle school. But we really take it seriously, and I said it 2 years in a row now. Being able to work with the ninth grade is just a ton of fun. The varsity coach is coming down there. We had a lot of fun this year. I hope you guys had some fun. We had Cronus. You can't forget Cronus. Don't ever forget Cronus. And that will stay with you until you graduate. So don't ask about Cronus, by the way. That's just for us. We had a good season, 4-3, as you see up there. I think, obviously, I think they learned throughout the year that we, playing West was probably the game that I think we'll take in the offseason with us. I know what happened in the middle of the year, but we really kind of found ourselves that night, taking it through the year to the end, to the very end. So we had a lot of fun working with you this year. And I want to say this: if you don't think you're quite as strong or quite as fast, or you're a little off this year, let me tell you something. Stay with it, because I tell you, 2 years from now, your body's going to be different. You're going to be stronger. You're going to change, and things fall into place. Because there's not a kid in here that's a freshman that's going to look the same, 2 years down the road from here. All right. So just understand that. Buy into it. I'll plug Coach Pritchett until I'm shown the door here. So get into the weight room and listen to all the off-season stuff we're doing, because your season's going to be measured by the off-season. Okay. Coach.
Thanks, Coach. I hope, by design, that I've had an opportunity to speak with. It's my second year actually calling every freshman parent, going into the off season, and I hope most of you, 9th and 10th grade parents, have had a personal conversation with me, and I do that to show you just how committed I am to these young men playing football. The freshman year is it's a very important year. It's a very developmental year, and the record. We pay attention a great deal to the record. I mean, we want to win every game we can, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind and keep focused on the end result, and that's player development. And going into their sophomore year, sometimes that JV season is a little different than the freshman season, because, again, the number one goal in 9th and 10th grade football, actually I don't want to say it that way, in underclassmen football, on sub-varsity football, the number one priority is player development. That may be different things for different teams at different points in the year for different situations. But going into the JV season, it is very important that we keep in mind that the end goal is to develop players. And we're highly committed to these sub-varsity players. I don't know if parents know this or not, but these guys over here, that they coach varsity and they coach JV. They also coach freshmen. So if your son plays for us as a freshman and he's a defensive back, he's going to have Coach Pritchett coaching him his freshman year, his 10th grade year, his 11th grade year, and his 12th grade year. And I don't allow these guys to go home on Thursdays. None of them go home on Thursdays, including myself. We see every JV and freshman game, and I've seen every JV and freshman game this year. I mean, since the school opened. I got sick this year on one Thursday, had to go home, but I haven't missed a JV or freshman game since the school opened in 2009. And these guys don't either. That's commitment. I want you to understand that, you are that important to us, that none of us are bigger. I like Stephen Erb. I love you. I love coaching you. Tonight's your night. You're a senior, but you're not more important than Aiden Hope over here, who's a freshman. Hope everybody understands that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but you're not. You have nice hair, and you're a little better looking than Aiden today, I think. But he's got a long way to go to grow up, right? Where's Aiden at? I saw him a minute ago. He popped in. Where'd he go? Come on. Where's my man Aiden? I don't know. I saw him. Anyway, I say all this to tell you that we are committed to every single one of these young men. And I want you guys to keep that in mind. My staff knows it. I mean, you are, Stephen. You're a nice-looking kid. Yeah. I'll get you later, though, okay? But as we move on, leading into sub-varsity players and player development, I got the job, 5 years ago. We started talking about what can we do to make a better football program? What can we do to increase player development? What can we do to get a better product on the field Friday night? What can we do to get a better player, to get better product on the field during JV games, during freshman games? And one thing that sticks out in everyone's mind, every football coach you ever talked to, and a lot of you dads who played, is that the idea of playing a scout team and going out there every day and getting your brains beat in and running other teams' offense and running other teams' defenses and so on and so forth, and how it can be a bit of a grind sometimes. Well, defensively it can be a grind because you're changing the thing all the time. You got to run the other team's defense. But offensively, everybody runs the same offense about 90% of the time anymore. So you just kind of run everybody's plays. But I come into this as a tag team idea. I learned it from a team out in Texas, 6 years ago or so, and it was the idea of recognizing these young men who work their tails off throughout the week. And people may like it, people may dislike it, but I can tell you there is at least one, maybe two. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but Brendan Bibb was an attack team captain at some point last year, and he wound up starting the last 3 or 4 or 5 games for us. Okay, and that's just the one that comes to the top of my head right now. But every year, every single year for the last 5 years, we have an attack team captain. We have these attack team guys that come in the season as backups or third or fourth strings. And as they work throughout the JV season, as they work through the attack team season, they show the coaching staff that they can play. And what happens? They wind up playing on Friday nights. And a way to recognize them and to show them how important they are. And the seniors could tell you, I know the seniors want to be captains every single week, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So when we have outstanding effort throughout the week for a young man, we name him a captain. So I'll go through these guys real quick. For the Wheeler game, we have Brian Pickering and Tommy Tattersall. I think, Brian, you put on about 20 pounds. You look, like gained a lot of weight since then. Getting taller, looking good. Yeah, you guys see guys grow. They grow. Kids grow. The tag team versus Gainesville, Nick Pozonsky and Justin Schneider. Peachtree Ridge, again, Thomas Tattersall. And you might wonder why there's just one up there. I never want to cheapen the honor and just put a person up there because we need another person. No, we just fill it in with another senior. Lanier, Brenton Newberry, and Miller Bustamante. North Forsyth, Logan Wire, and Cade Bullard. West Forsyth, T.J. Mathis, and Jack Stewart. Milton, Seth Belay. And that's the thing about leadership and teamwork. I mean, Seth's a senior. Doesn't mean you have to be a sophomore or a junior. You can be a starter. You can be an offensive starter that goes out there and works his tail off at receiver and be an attack team captain the next week. There's no limit to it. I don't know we had a freshman yet because we try to keep those kids off the field, getting beat up a whole lot. But sophomores and seniors, hey, anybody can be a captain. You just got to get up at the timing out there. Now at this point, I want to start recognizing our lettermen and our participation recognition. So I get Coach Cox, Woodall, and Coach Hill. We'll get this guy started. We're going to set this up and read the names off alphabetically. And if we could have you guys come up in front of the stage here, in front of Coach.
Rex Aladia, first-year letterman. Wills Anderson, first-year letterman. Ethan Anderson, third-year letterman. Nolan Anadurai, second-year letterman. Zach Ansari, third-year letterman. Kojo Antwi, first-year letterman. Braden Bambrowski, second-year letterman. Blake Bibb, second-year letterman. Brendan Bibb, second-year letterman. Kinzer Borner, second-year letterman. Parker Brocious, first-year letterman. Hunter Brown, Participation Award. Ryan Brown, Participation Award. Cade Bullard, first-year letterman. Khalil Burgess, first-year letterman. Miller Bustamante, first-year letterman. Harrison Cole, second-year letterman. Chap Cunningham, first-year letterman. Jawan Davis, participation award. Patrick Deans, third-year letterman. Sudarshan Dhanabalan, first-year letterman. Jite DeBerry, first-year letterman. Davis Dobbs, participation award. Trey Drury, first-year letterman. Stephen Erb, first-year letterman. Kyle Flood, first-year letterman. Matty Franz, first-year letterman. Evan Gackler, second-year letterman. Tyler Gackler, first-year letterman. Galil Guillaume, third-year letterman. Darren Guy, first-year letterman. Michael Hart, second-year letterman. Justin Haskins, participation award. Elijah Howat, participation award. Aiden Hope, participation award. Jake Johnson, participation award. Cullen Joyner, participation award. Caleb Jones, second-year letterman. Jacob Keenan, participation award. Eugene Kim, second-year letterman. Paul Kim, second-year letterman. Noel Lakeo, participation award. Chanel Lee, first-year letterman. Brandon LeGrant, participation award. James Lee, first-year letterman. Colin Liu, participation award. Jason Liu, first-year letterman. Grayson Maines, first-year letterman. Seth Malay, first-year letterman. TJ Mathis, third-year letterman. Jack McClure, second-year letterman. James McMurphy, participation award. Nick Melzarek, second-year letterman. Dawson Miller, participation award. Jackson Miller, first-year letterman. Ryan Mills, third-year letterman. Ross Mitchamore, second-year letterman. John Morera, participation award. Where's Big John at? Josh Mullinax, second-year letterman. Brenton Newberry, second-year letterman. Anthony Newton, third-year letterman. Zach Abagu, second-year letterman. Daniel Park, third-year letterman. Nick Pazonsky, second-year letterman. Harrison Payton, first-year letterman. Brian Pickering, second-year letterman. Reed Pickering, first-year letterman. Max Prohl, second-year letterman. Jacob Pulliam, third-year letterman. Sharath Ragila, participation award. Peyton Rich, third-year letterman. Robert Riddle, first-year letterman. Dylan Robinson, participation award. Brendan Ross, first-year letterman. Matthew Russo, participation award. Camden Sagas, third-year letterman. Brennan Schneider, first-year letterman. Justin Schneider, second-year letterman. Asher Sheets, participation award. Brock Shintal, participation award. Nick Shelley, third-year letterman. Bennett Shoemaker, second-year letterman. Ashton Smith, first-year letterman. Harrison Stang, third-year letterman. Greg Steckel, first-year letterman. Connor Stevens, participation award. Jack Stewart, first-year letterman. Drew Surio, second-year letterman. Arian Tala, first-year letterman. Thomas Tattersall, first-year letterman. Nick Taylor, participation award. Davis Templeton, first-year letterman. John Thompson, second-year letterman. Joran Vanderzanden, second-year letterman. Emiliano Vasquez, participation award. Sam Walensky, first-year letterman. Logan Wire, second-year letterman. Jack Wise, second-year letterman. Will Wood, first-year letterman. Julian He, second-year letterman. Grace Kelly, third-year letterman.
Where's Grace at? Is she here?
And Catherine Consi, first-year letterman.
You want to say something about the 4-year? Okay.
All right, the next names we're going to call out are our 4-year lettermen. Obviously, they've been in the program for 4 years. When they were freshmen, they were called up to finish their freshman season with the varsity. These guys have put in a lot of time to help our program grow. Drew Doctor, 4-year letterman. Jake Rising, 4th-year letterman. Nathan Smith, 4th-year letterman. Blake Nichols, 4th-year letterman. Chris Taylor, 4th-year letterman. And Tyler Wright, 4th-year letterman. One more time, your 4-year letterman.
We'll now move on to the part of the program where we recognize our seniors. This This part's very near and dear to my heart. We have a little fun up here. Some of the coaches will be a little more serious. Some will be a little sillier with the young men. But this is where we just take time and just I want everybody to put a name to a face. Some of you, parents have watched the football games, and you may not know who Reed Pickering is, right? Opportunity to have Reed up here. You guys can look at his pretty face, and his position coach will talk about him. Okay, so let's see. Who do we have here first, Coach Hill? And we're going to start with Sam Walensky. So come on up here, Sam.
Come on, Sam. All right, while Sam's walking, come on up here.
Come on,
Don't be bashful.
Jump it.
All right, Sam was only with us for 1 year, and where you at? I know it's kind of cliche to say this, but I wish you were out for more than 1 year because I really enjoyed this past year. A couple of his stats, he graded out this year. In his first year playing varsity football, he graded out 82%, had 27 knockdowns, and was robbed of 1 touchdown against the Forsyth Central game. When Sam came out in January, he was in our developmental group because we didn't know anything about him. As time went on, you can kind of see all this athleticism he had. I know he played lacrosse, and I know you played football back in middle school. And I'm not going to hold that grudge against you that you didn't come out to your senior year, but it's okay. But it was apparent that you did have obviously a big frame, and he worked hard that offseason. And one thing you got to realize, just because you're a senior does not mean you're given anything. You have to earn everything that you get. But like I said, I wish you played more than 1 year, but I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. After high school, Sam plans on studying PGA management at Eastern Kentucky. He still owes me a round of golf, but best of luck in the future. I'm proud of you. Where's the clicker?
Right there on top.
Come here, Rex.
He didn't turn his jersey in, so he can make it.
Okay. All right, while you're walking up here, I want to know something. Where's your jersey?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, what about it?
It's at my house.
Okay, well. All right, Rex was a 2-year starter for us. This past year, he graded out at 80%. Had 24 career knockdowns in 2 years as a starter. Rexy was serious about everything, but he never worried about anything, if that makes sense. He was always at workouts. He was always one of the first ones to show up, but he never had a bad day. It doesn't matter, good news, bad news, good on a test, bad on a test. You never knew it by his positive attitude. I am going to make fun of you a little bit in the fact that we have a group me. I don't know if your parents know, it's the way we kind of communicate with the kids. And I don't know, it's January. I get this video of Rexy wearing his football helmet. He had more than just a football helmet on. Don't think that it's okay. He had it like a tank top on too. And he's grilling out a steak on a smoker. I mean, I sear it, done. He was smoking it and whatever. But he sent it out to the kids kind of as a joke, and everybody enjoyed it. But that's just an example, kind of a glimpse of his positive attitude and his fun-loving personality. After high school, Jacob plans on attending App State and majoring in criminal justice. Jacob Pulliam. No need to hand you your jersey, right? Shelly. Hey, chicks dig the sweater vest. That's true. They do dig the pass set too. That's right. All right, where you at?
73.
All right, Nick, I've known you for a long time, my friend. And it's been a joy to see you grow throughout your high school career. Nick started a little bit last year on defense with 7 tackles, 5 solo, and 2 assists. Unfortunately, this year Nick came across some injuries that cut his season short. However, that didn't stop his positive attitude and showing up every day to practice. He was always there encouraging his teammates. It didn't matter if you were hurt, if you were practicing, whatever. Everything was always positive with you, and I'm proud of you. I wish that the injury wouldn't have happened, but nonetheless, I'm very proud of your hard work that you put in both on the football field, in the weight room, and in the classroom. Nick plans on attending either Georgia Southern or Columbus State when he graduates from Lambert and majoring in business or exercise science. Nick Shelley. Come on. Come on. Don't be bashful. Come here. All right, a couple stats on Ethan. In his career, he graded out 84%, had 58 career knockdown blocks, and he started 17 games. Obviously, he was a 2-year starter for us at center and actually at right guard as well. Ethan is one of those guys that was always very quiet. Never really said much to coach or myself or anybody. Just showed up with his lunch pail and went to work every day. He understood our overall scheme, what we did on offense. And an example of that was your junior year. We send out notes on Huddle or whatever, and they're reading these notes. And all of a sudden, I get a text from Ethan saying, "How come the receiver didn't run a slant?" And I'm thinking, you worry about the guys on the line of scrimmage. But that just goes to that's an example of what and how much Ethan cared and kind of learned about the game more than just his position. He learned the overall scheme. He would also come down with the freshmen. Some of you young guys, the freshman linemen, he would come down sometimes to mentor you guys and to teach you guys what kind of the scheme, kind of be an extra set of eyes. After Ethan graduates from Lambert, he plans on attending Alabama. Studying management and information systems, so roll tide, and best of luck. Come here, Ryan. Ryan. Don't be afraid. It's all right. I can eat you. All right. Stats for Ryan this year, senior year, he graded out 81%, had 4 knockdown blocks. Ryan, I'll always remember Ryan as being a steady performer who showed up just like all the other guys every day, but he never griped or complained about where he was along the way. He just showed up, improved. He was versatile in the fact that he played more than one position on the offensive line, and this year we had some injuries, and Ryan got his shot in a game and did well and kept his spot for a majority of the season. He's a very smart athlete who was, like I said, was very flexible, had no issues learning what we were doing up front, played center and both guards. You can never have enough centers, trust me. So it was nice to have that security. When Ryan graduates, he plans on attending either Georgia, Alabama, or Auburn, and plans on majoring in engineering. Ryan Mills. Last but certainly not least for me is Mean Eugene. Where you at? All right, you younger guys, if you want to see an example of team before self, he's standing right here. All right. Eugene would. Thank you. Eugene was the athlete who would always ask to get in, not only when we were on primary offense, but when we were on primary defense. You heard Coach Daniel talk earlier about the attack team. Eugene was always trying to get reps there too. Eugene's a very smart student athlete. When he graduates, he plans on attending Emory-Riddle or Alabama or Tennessee or Miami, all great schools, and you want to participate in the Air Force ROTC. Is that correct? Awesome. Like I said, he led by example. He never complained about where he was on any certain day. It was always about Lambert football. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw and heard his passion every game, and that's one thing that I always remember Eugene Kim for. Eugene Kim.
Big talent on the piano, too.
Coach Woodall, or Coach Minor. Got it right there.
Let's go, Reed. As you can see, Reed was somebody that everybody tended to gravitate to. This season, he was somebody who came out kind of late for us. He came out during the summer, and I saw this tall 6'6" kid, and I thought I could really use him on the defensive line. So that was very nice for me. And so the thing about Reed was early on in the season, he got a fair amount of playing time, but then he kind of lost a little bit of it. But he was somebody who came out to practice and worked all year, and he's a great example of, even when you're a senior, not giving up, even if you're not getting any playing time. And he ended up, or not getting a whole lot of playing time, and he ended up actually being a starter for us for a majority of region play. And so I just wanted to say I'm very proud to have had this year to coach Reed, and I wish I could have had, like Coach Hill said about Sam, I wish I could have had more than 1 year to coach you, but it was a remarkable first year, and so good luck to you next year.
Thank you.
Come on up, Jack. Now, Jack, much like Reed, is someone that I wish I had more than 1 year to have worked with. But the thing is, I didn't even actually have a year to work with Jack, because you see, a lot of the beginning of the year, he was actually spending a lot of time with Coach Baldwin, working with the linebackers, and he was working as a fullback as well. But he's another example of, even if you're not getting on the field as much as you would have liked, even when you're a senior, not giving up, continuing to persevere throughout the season. And he actually turned out to be one heck of a long snapper for us as well. But once we got into, right before region play, we were playing it was the Lanier game. And we had a couple of injuries on our defensive line. And so Jack comes over, I think it was to Coach Daniel, and said, Coach, I'd like to play a little defensive line for us. And we said, okay, great. You're probably going to take a little time to get on the field, because you guys still learn the position and everything. But, what I kind of figured out about Jack, coaching him the second half of the year, was he has a very high football IQ. And, we went into the Lanier game, and we had an injury up front, and he needed to be thrusted into the game. Now, remember, he's only been playing defensive line for, 2 days, 3 days? And Coach Woodall tells me to go into the locker room and make sure he knows what to do. And I go through pretty much our entire defense, and he knows what to do on everything. And I was very impressed, and I knew that he was going to start for us for the rest of the year. So good luck to you, Jack, and I hope you have a great college career.
Where are we at? Yes, sir.
All right. Seth Malay, folks. Seth's another one that joined us a little late. He joined us at the second semester last year, so this was really you had one football year with us. And it's a real shame, because I'd have loved to have had Seth for his whole high school career. Tough, physical kid, kind of a throwback style football player. It's hard to move in and transfer in within your senior football year and have to learn a new system and all the stuff that comes with that. But Seth stayed with it. When he was on the field, he was relentless. You had a pretty sweet bull rush as well. I'm proud of what he accomplished in the too brief a time that you had with us. And we talked a lot about actually the attack team earlier. Seth's contributions to the attack team were invaluable to this football team's ability to prepare week in and week out. And you really made us better in a lot of ways. And I'm just proud of you, man. And I wish, like I said, I've said it to you over and over again, man. I just wish I had you longer. I really do. Congratulations, Seth.
He's the only guy that has his own theme song.
He does. He does have a theme song. All right. I'm going to tell a little bit of a story here, just because I do believe there is a lesson in it for the young kids. Though I probably won't go over what the lesson is. Many years ago, 3, a skinny sophomore quarterback started pestering me to allow him to play scout team defense.
Oh, that's another attack team starter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, as a defensive coordinator, there are fewer things in this world that I care less about than skinny sophomore quarterbacks. So I ignored him for quite a long time, but he wouldn't quit. So one day I said, okay. And I threw him out on the field, and I told him to play outside linebacker and just come off the edge, rush the quarterback. I didn't have any great plan. It was just something simple to tell him to do, because it was obvious that he didn't really know what any of the other positions were called at the time. But it's only kind of luck that I was even looking at him when the ball first snapped. And I think I was only looking at him then because his stance was so bad it was comical, so I was kind of zoned in on it. But when the ball snapped, when the ball moved, man, he moved too. And he fired off the line, and he ripped through and around what would eventually be a D1 left tackle. It was absolutely the best first step I'd ever seen in my life. And he'll have an opportunity to continue his football career in the Ivy League at one of the most prestigious colleges in our country, Cornell. How was that for a life-changing moment? You never know, kids. You never know. Now, fast forward, and obviously, Galil had a fantastic season and a big career. He had 78 total tackles this year. For a boundary side outside linebacker, guys, that is crazy. He's not in the middle of the field. He's on the side that they run the ball the least to. And he had 78 total tackles. And that's just hustle and getting after it. And I'm proud of that number more than any of the other numbers I'm about to tell you, because that is just hustle and effort. He finished the season with 20 total tackles for loss. 20. That is tied for a season record with Calvin Johnson, who was a great 3 technique many, many years ago. So you have that record. That gives you a total of 29 total tackles for loss in your career, which makes you second place in that behind Russell Moniette, another all-time great here. I'm sure you could all guess that Galil is now your single-season sack leader with 11.5, bringing his career total to 18, which he is also now the career leader in that as well. He's received numerous Players of the Week honors and is single-handedly responsible for at least 90% of the gray hair in my beard. But I love him, and I'm proud of the man that he's grown into over these years.
We're going to say Nate's jersey is the cleanest. Gotcha.
All right, come up, Nathan. All right, I'm going to read some stats to you for Nathan's senior year. 10 games, he had 100 total tackles, 13 tackles for losses, 7 sacks. He's a 4-year letterman, 2-year starter. The thing about Nathan, guys, you could put him, besides the interior defensive line, you could put him at outside linebacker, defensive end with his hand down, inside linebacker, maybe even a safety, and he'd be very productive at all those positions. He's just one of those football players, where you put him, he's going to produce. Not a lot of football players can do that, but Nathan was one of those players that obviously could do that. In the off season, he committed himself to the weight room. He was extremely hard worker. He was dedicated to Lambert. In the film during the season, he was committed. I don't think he hardly ever missed a week of film. The sessions that they were supposed to go to. He was a smart player. He was a player that always knew what he was supposed to do. I could go on and on and on about Nate. Colleges are definitely interested in him. He's decided at the end here that he would maybe like to explore college, to play college football, and a lot of schools are interested in Nate. So I know his best football is definitely ahead of him, and it's been a pleasure to coach Nate. Thanks, Nate. All right, next, Chris Taylor.
Is it right here?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to read Chris's stats for 9 games this year. He was out 1 game. He had 65 total tackles, 7.5 tackles for losses, 2 sacks. He's a 2-year starter, another 4-year letterman. First day as a freshman, you could tell Chris was going to be one of those tough football players, kind of like a throwback football player. I mean, as a freshman, he wasn't whether he got his butt kicked or whether he won or whether it was a tie. He was just one of those kids that you could tell as a freshman that he wasn't going to back down. And with those kids, you can always find a place for someone like that. And then as a sophomore, he got a little bit better. Still tough kid. He would play a tag team like Coach Daniel and Coach Woodall were talking about. He didn't shy away from that. He would go against a senior, didn't matter what size. Chris is one of those players, even as a freshman and sophomore, you knew he was going to give it everything he could in practice. Then he became a starter as a junior, then he was a starter as a senior. And that's what I think about Chris. I think about every single play he played as hard as he could. He got his money's worth. Whether he won that rep or not, you knew he was going to go as hard as he could go. And that impresses about him. And I always told him that, and even with Nate and all those other linebackers. It doesn't matter how you do, go as hard as you can go. Make whoever's watching you on film, whether it be your teammates, your friends, your family, make them proud about your effort, because you can control that. You may not be able to control anything else, but you can control how hard you can go. And that's the thing about Nate, too, and Chris. Both of them went as hard as they could go on every rep. Same thing with Nate. Chris also has college plans. And I think it was probably 2 weeks ago, I was asking Coach Pritchett about, I think it was about Chris. And I was asking him, how is he doing in the weight room? Because I know he wants to play college football. And he said the kid is still working every single day as hard as he can. So, and he did that in the off season too. He didn't take anything off. He showed great leadership. That's why he wore number 5, which is an honor. So again, it was a pleasure to coach Chris the last 3 years. And I know, again, like Nate, his best football is ahead of him.
He's shaking the counter. Come on up, Jay. Come on, Jake. I got the honor to talk about Jake tonight, and for me, being new to Lambert, I only had the privilege of coaching him for 1 year. But in that one season, what I saw or what I gained from it was, not only did I see you grow as an athlete and a player, but I watched him grow off the field too as a young man, which to me is more important than any stats, any record, any wins or losses. So that was pretty cool to see. Jake may have been one of the hardest working players at practice. And you want guys that practice hard, because guys that practice hard get better. And when everybody starts to do that, your team gets better. So, as he worked each day, he got better every week. And over the course of the season, he did that. And by the end of the year, he's ripping off touchdown runs against some pretty good defenses. So it was really awesome to see your improvement, man. Appreciate your effort. I got some stats for Jake. He finished the season as our leading rusher, 98 carries, 528 yards. That's over 5 yards a carry, which is a very good average for running back. He had 2 touchdowns running the football. Also helped us out in the pass game. We throw the running backs out there a lot on pass routes. He got 10 catches for us this year for 71 yards, so that was a big help. He was very valuable there. He also played sound defense at safety.
Finished the season with 56 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, and a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. So on top of that, Jake's also our co-anchor on our morning show. Coach Snyder told me I had to make a plug for it. So Jake, I don't know if you got anything to tell everybody about season 2, but Jake does a great job on the morning show too. I don't know what Jake's going to do after graduation, but I know this, he's going to be successful. So proud of you, Jake, man.
The season team, when you get held back. I'm not play football.
Incidentally, season 2 premieres January 25th. Come on, JT. I was first introduced to JT not even 1 year ago. In my second year on the staff, I wasn't familiar with JT's early successes and contributions, but how quickly he cemented himself as a senior leader and valuable part of our football team. JT graded out at 89% on the year. He is a gifted, natural route runner who had a knack for finding green space and finishing plays. His first game against Wheeler after a 2-year layoff saw him bring in 9 receptions for 105 yards and a touchdown. He had another big night up in Gainesville, hauling in 6 receptions and 2 TDs in what proved to be a great finish for us. He finished the season with 43 receptions for 426 yards. That's top 8 in the region for both receiving yards and receptions. Those are the stats that define JT the receiver, but you know where this is going, right? Coaches will speak time and time again of high-character kids, kids that do right, kids that go out about their business and lead by example. JT is most definitely one of those players. JT is where he needed to be this year when he needed to be there. For the entire season, he was one of the first players to hit the practice field. We coaches make a lot of sacrifice to coach football. There are too many to mention, and it's players like JT that make you forget them all. I'll speak for Coach Carlson as well when I say he made coaching fun and meaningful for us this year, and we're really, really happy he played this year.
Good evening. I've kind of the opposite of everybody else here, where I've known him for about, 6 or 7 years. Had the pleasure of coaching him in baseball before he got to high school, and coached him in baseball. So I've been through about 10 seasons, 2 sports with him. And when he plays baseball, I really didn't think about him being so slight. And when he got here to play football, I remember talking to him about gaining weight. And I said, does Miss Connie make you breakfast every day, Coach? What about at night? Peanut butter milkshakes. Okay. He came in this year. I say, how much do you weigh? He goes, 147. High metabolism. And usually when you coach receivers, you have 2 types. You have very serious, intense, quiet leaders, and sometimes you have the vocal, high-energy leaders. You can probably guess which one Blake is. Stat-wise, he had 41 catches, 465 yards for 11.34, which led the team with 3 touchdowns. And I could say with Steven and JT and Doc and Blake, I'm truly going to miss these guys. I have a son this age, and knowing these guys as long as I have, it's going to be interesting, if not quieter, next year in practice, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But I wish him luck in everything he does.
Come on, Zach.
Can everybody see me? Step stool. All right. Zach came to Lambert his sophomore year from Chattahoochee. And it didn't take long for me to realize that he was going to be a weight room warrior. He had great technique and very strong, and turned out being the actual pound for pound strongest kid in our program this year. Lifted over 5 times his body weight when we tested. So a very strong individual. And I was very excited about him coming into this season. He worked really hard off season to prepare. Earned a starting position at corner, and then in the second game of the year, he suffered an ankle injury. Pretty severe one. Kept him out quite a few weeks. And, you never plan it like this. It just turned out that the young man that took his role was playing so well that I couldn't take him off the field. And I know that was tough for Zach. And we had a conversation one day in the hallway, and I told him he just had to stick with it. You never know when your name's going to be called, your number's going to be called again. And then lo and behold, in the West game, we had Fig go down, and there's Zach plugged right back in and played well for us. So that's what I'm going to remember about Zach is his work ethic and how he stuck with it. And those qualities are going to take him far in life. I think he plans on studying computer science in college, and I think he's going to do a great job in that. T-Road!
Does he have the cleanest jersey?
That's good. Okay, so Tyler, interesting roundabout way of playing defensive back this year. He never played corner before. He'd been an outside linebacker most of his career. We played with some at safety, played some receiver. And one day, I think it was Coach Daniel actually came to me and said, "What about Tyler? Give us some depth." And I said, "Yeah, I like that idea," because he had good height, was fast, athletic. We knew he needed to be on the field somewhere. And then, like I said, we had an injury the second game of the year, and Tyler stepped right into that role like it was nothing. And the one game in particular I remember, and I've told Tyler this story before, it was the Peachtree Ridge game. And he was playing, man coverage on the single side, on the other side of the field, on the Peachtree Ridge sideline. And, it just hit me. They took a shot. Next play, they took another shot. And I'm like, he just ran down the field like 70 yards 2 times in a row. I'm like, I might should get him out of there. But I'm like, nah, it's too late now. And then they took another shot, and all 3 times they were incomplete. So he did a great job for us this year. Like I said, stepping into that role. It's not easy. And like I said, he was playing so well that, we couldn't get him off the field. He had 15 tackles this year, 1 for loss, 1 interception, 5 pass breakups. He's still up in the air about college. He's interested in playing some college football, and I think he'll have an opportunity to do that because he's got really good grades and good test scores. So colleges really like that. That's for all you younger guys. That's number one. Okay. So I appreciate Tyler. I enjoyed coaching this year. He's up. Okay. All right, Doc.
We'll come back to you next. Hey, Steven. Steven, you're next.
Skip you. Green stuff, yeah. All right, so Drew, you've heard, he's a 4-year letterman, just what we call a program kid. I mean, he's been with us. He does whatever you ask him to do, when you ask him to do it. He's the type of kid that one day I hope my daughters bring home, and that says a lot. That's one of the highest compliments as a father I could give a young man. So, but I'll say a little bit about his offense because Drew primarily played on offense and special teams this year as a receiver. He caught 22 passes for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns, and just a leader on and off the field, which is great. But and on defense, he was primarily played in a backup role for us at safety. But anytime that we needed him, I know he's going to step in there. And the one game in particular I remember was our last game of the year against Forsyth Central. And Jake comes over the sideline and says his thumb's moving around, it's broken. And I'm like, okay. So I start yelling on the sideline. I'm yelling, Doc, Doc, Doc. And I can't find him. And they're like, Coach, he's already out there. I mean, he was out there on the field ready to go. And I don't know if it was that play or the next play later, somebody just comes up and just wallops the running back. And I said, who the heck was that? And it was Doctor. So that's what I'm going to really remember about him, is just being in the game, being on the field, and just knowing when his number was called. I didn't even have to call it. He was already out there, and that's kind of rare. And I'm really going to miss Drew. I know he's planning on studying business at Auburn or UGA. Hopefully it'll be UGA, so I don't have to disown him. But I love Doc, and I'm going to miss him.
Stevie. Come on, Stevie. What a guy. Stephen Erb came to my classroom 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? I don't know, maybe it's it was about 34 months ago maybe, and he told me he didn't want to play football anymore, and it broke my heart. And then he told me he wanted to come back and play football, and it made me extremely happy. Stephen he's an incredible young man. He's got this energy, adjectives, energetic, athletic. He's explosive, he's coachable, he's funny, he's persistent. He's got a really, really, really high motor, he's as athletic as anybody we had play on the field this year. He was competing against some pretty good football players, and we said it about Reed, we said it about Sam, but I hate we missed you for a year or two there, but I can't tell you guys how much of a joy it was seeing this kid's smiling face every single day. I mean, he did whatever you asked him to do in whatever role and whatever was asked of him. And it didn't matter what, when, where, how, why. He just did it. He's got an incredible nature. You guys have had a difficult dog, I'm sure, at home before. We experienced Coach Waddle, a difficult horse before that has like a difficult nature. I'm not saying that to say he's got a difficult nature because he doesn't, but he's got a nature that you're not going to break. And that's a pretty special thing. And Stephen, I love you, and it was a pleasure getting to coach you this year. Don't lose that. Don't lose that. All right, before we get into the awards, we've got a quick little video we're going to show you. I think it's about 8 minutes long.
It's crazy thinking that this will be the last time that I'm strapping it up, being able to play this game. I've been playing it since first grade, and just thinking this is the last time that I'll ever be able to go play on the field. It's just crazy. So this whole week I'm just kind of like taking it a day by day thing, because I'm coming up with my last practices. So I'm just enjoying all the last moments that I have with this great sport.
This whole week of practice, actually, like knowing that today and tomorrow are like our last full speed practices at the program, that's rough because I can remember being a freshman and seeing those guys out there and thinking like that's forever away, and it just goes by so quick, and like I'm just gonna miss like coming out here every day and grinding with my best friends,
I just want to say thank you to all the coaches. They've all invested in me throughout these 4 years and given me an opportunity to play. I'm just really thankful for them and all my teammates supporting me. And it's just good to be a Longhorn. I love the coaches. I love this school, and I just want to represent the school well when I'm playing out there.
Honestly, every day it's a great feeling. I started playing this sport with my brothers, and I'm ending it with my brothers. I couldn't ask for a better experience. It is a grind. It's not easy. You gotta have to love it, and that's what I love it. I love the sport. I love the brothers that I play with, and honestly, grinding with them, it's nothing but a thing because it's just what I love to do.
This team's a brotherhood because these are all my brothers and we all look out for each other. It's kind of mixed emotions and it's gonna be hard to move on.
It means a lot to be a part of something like bigger than yourself, and I mean the fact that it's like all coming to an end is kind of like surreal just because I've been playing this game since like 3rd grade, so I guess for the younger kids who are like freshmen and sophomores, it's kind of like hard to understand like how much work you need to put in. Playing as a junior last year, I kind of realized that, and that kind of pushed me like senior year to work even harder.
Family. That's what we are. We stick together and stay together all the time.
matter what the situation is in the game, our team never stops fighting. We always find a way to keep going and keep ourselves in the game no matter like what's happening. And I feel like that's helped me as a person because it shows no matter what's going on, you just like have to keep pushing because like as long as you just keep working, then like good will come out of it.
We know what we have to do to get the job done, but we've been doing this together for so long now, and it goes all the way back to like when we were little and like playing third grade, trying to get the Lanier Bowl. I mean, it's just everything really about that, like just how close we are and how long it's been a thing like that, you know?
It's just been such a great experience playing with these guys, and I'm just happy to be with them every single day and to be practicing with them. It's going to be really sad to be without them.
All right, at this point, we'll move on to the awards. As we don't do, if you look up here at the plaques, as I mentioned earlier, it's a team game. But, you know, you have to recognize certain individuals every season on your football team. I got to mention you as a runner-up, Jack McClure. Where's Jack at? Where's Jack? And people don't realize how important a long snapper is, but I'm not sure Jack made a bad snap this entire season. Maybe one, but I mean, you know, let's say, Doc, maybe you could have caught it. No, it wasn't catchable. Oh, yeah, it was a good snap, so Doc's taking the blame for it. It's the kind of guy he is. But invaluable on punt team and kickoff as well, Jack. He had a great season. Unfortunately, you are the runner-up to my man, Drew Doctor. Come on for Drew. Let me read you some stats from Drew real quick. 46 punts for 1,701 yards. That's for a 37-yard average, a long of 52. 16 punts inside the 20. 37 kickoffs for 1,530 yards and 9 touchbacks. 19 for 21 on extra points and 4 for 8 on field goals with a long of 44. Now, real quick, I know it's special teams, and we did leave a picture of you catching a ball on there, running with the ball, and I first thought, you know, hey, Coach Hill, we got to do something about that. And the more I think about it, yeah, you know, this guy, back when I was in high school, you know, I don't know, we probably could have done this, but, you know, I really thought, you know, hey, we called him the Coach Cox, the Swiss Army knife, right? I mean, this kid played 3 or 4 positions on offense. He played 2 to 3 positions on defense, and he truly was he was a Swiss Army knife. I don't think Dr. Davison would agree of me like handing you what would be considered a weapon today, but that's the kind of guy he is. This guy right here, Special Teams Player of the Year. I mean, hopefully he'll get all region. Hopefully he may, you know, the North Fulton banquets, you know, later this week. Maybe we can get him up there as Special Teams Player of the Year there. But a fine young man, a really an invaluable Special Teams player. And Drew, I'm proud to coach you. Thank you, buddy. Academic Award. I've got to get my notes on my phone to see this because it's pretty cool. Guys, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to find an academic, like you're talking academic athlete every year at Lambert High School, but you think, hey, you know, 3.8, that's going to make it. No, you got to get way over 3.8. A couple of accomplishments, okay? Let me see here. National Honor Society in Math, National Beta Club. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Mu Tau Alpha National Math Honor Society. Lambert High Five Club Perfect Score on AP Psych exam. He's also a Settles Bridge Elementary School mentor. Let me see, here's in the Philosophy Club. He represented the Georgia chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis And I'm a language teacher. That's kind of embarrassing. I apologize. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation on Capitol Hill in July is a teen advocate. Met with senators and congressmen in Washington to discuss cystic fibrosis. I'm just going to move on. And the need for funding for research and access to the treatments. He's also got a 4.19 grade point average, 29 on the ACT, and scored a 1400 on the SAT. And that's Reed Pickering. Where are you at in your class, Reed? Rank?
890.
No, like out of the, as far as
89%.
89%.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where that. I'm just talking rank out of 600 people. You know where you're going to finish?
I'm like at 90 right now.
At 9, yeah, it's pretty strong, guys. This is one of the best we've ever had here. I'm proud of you, Reed. Great job, phenomenal young man.
Thank you.
This next one, this is something that's dear to my heart because we call it the leather helmet. Did that years ago, and it's kind of a throwback. I want football players who just want to play football, just want to play ball. If it's Jack for the first 5 games being selfless, just being the best long snapper he could be, that's who he was. If it's Stephen here with his undying desire to just play ball and compete, that's what it is. I'm not a fan of, I think I'm an offensive player. I think I'm a defensive player. I'm a fan of, I want to be a Lambert football player, regardless. Hey, just go out there, enjoy your time with your friends. Don't get caught up in things that don't matter. Show up and compete and play hard every single day. And our leather helmet this year, and I'll just go ahead and say his name so we can kind of move on. There's more I want to say about him, but Jake Risen, come on up here. Jake is one of the few that I'm not going to ask him because I don't want an answer. He may be truthful with me, but you wouldn't know if Jake liked offense, defense better. And we don't have players like that a lot of times. I want everybody to be that guy, but let's be honest, some people have a preference. I'm not going to ask Jake because I don't want the answer. But he worked as hard on offense as he did defense, and it was selfless. And it didn't matter. Hey, Jake, you good to go? Yeah, I'm good, Coach. You need to right now, Coach. I'm fine. I'm good. Whatever. Hey, just let me play ball. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do, and enjoy it. And Jake, seeing you change and grow into the young man you are, it's an honor, and I won't forget our voyage together. I've really enjoyed you.
Thank you.
That's right. It's defense, it's offense, yeah. Most valuable player. This one should not be difficult. I talk about awards. I don't want to leave anybody out. I want everybody in the room to kind of expect, hey, I start talking about GPA and people start saying Reed. MVP, people are kind of probably assuming it's doctor. Talking about most valuable player, you guys have heard stats all night, and I'm not going to bore you with stats. The most valuable player is the one player every week. I don't know what people think about the fraternity of coaches and being friends and stuff, but we are all very close. Well, not all, but the majority of the coaches and the guys that we play every year, we're very, very close. We're very close. And our MVP every year is the guy that the other coaches fear. It's the guy the other coaches build their entire game plans around. That's easy. I talk to 5 or 6 coaches, and they go, hey, man, we got something about number, He's a good player. That kid, he's a good player. And it's kind of easy. MVP is going to be the guy that every other coach recognizes because that's the guy you build your game plan around. And that's the guy that, and this young man single-handedly, he took over a couple of games. And he played as well. I don't know. I'm not going to say most improved because he's also most valuable, but there's something that could be said for that as well. But teams built their game plans around Galil. Teams realized how wonderful an athlete he was. And it might not have seemed at times that he wasn't as effective as you might have thought he could be or should be, but it's because people were doing things with him that were allowing other guys to make plays. So come on up here, Galil. Last bit here. All-time captains. Lifetime captains. These are young men that we recognize. It's 4 years of productivity. It's 4 years of the weight room. It's 4 years of summer workouts. It's 4 years of leadership. It's 4 years of competing. It's 4 years of every single thing that we ask. It's 4 years of being good students. It's 4 years of not being distractions. It's 4 years of me not having to worry about where they're at 7:30 on a Tuesday in June. Okay? These are first off, the entire coaching staff has got to agree on these young men. There's no limit. It could be 1, it could be 10 every year. It just so happens we have 3 this year. And on our 3 lives, I'll get in a second. I got ahead of myself a little bit. But we got a plaque outside the office. We're going to put their names on it. Okay? And I guess, we've had 2 to 3 every single year since I've been here. And you young guys, you sophomores, freshmen, juniors, and seniors, you should strive to have your name on the plaque. You should strive to get these big, beautiful framed jerseys. And I'm going to miss you 3. I really am. But let's see. I'm a little lost here. Just going to get a little sad thinking about all my boys leaving. But Chris, Nathan, and Drew, come on up, guys. Come on up. As I mentioned, I don't like leaving people out, and I don't want ever want to leave anyone out. And this is the one award it's a little hard for me as a coach. It's rewarding. I feel good about doing this. Sometimes I know hopefully there's other young men out there that wanted it. Unfortunately, not everybody showed the same level of commitment that these 3 young men did. And guys, that's how I feed my family. That's how we feed our families. And we show work every day, and we work really hard. And you guys buy into everything we do. Okay, and I really appreciate it. Hey, you guys, you have an award you want to give out? You have something you guys want to do?
Oh, yeah. Senior guys wanted to get up and grab something for Miss Connie.
Oh, go ahead. Go get it. Go get it.
Tyler, go get it.
Go get it. Senior guys, how many people do we need?
Hey, senior. Get up.
Now, we have a very special team mother. And I talked to her last year, and she told me her only desire in this next year was to make this senior season as special as she could for her boys. And she meant every single one of these. And, I don't make decisions on those types of things. I just sit back and watch. And what Connie did for these boys is second to none. Is any junior moms out there who would like to do something, or junior dads? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to do that. But any junior parents that would like to be involved in their son's senior season, I'd contact Connie. You guys want to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to say thank you to Miss Connie. I've known you a really long time. You drive really far. You do all these kind of things for us. It means the world to me, and I know all these guys might have something to say too. But I love you, Miss Nichols.
Thank you. I honestly can go on and on, just saying how much I love Miss Nichols. She's always been like a second mother to me, honestly. She's done more for me than like a lot of people would actually know, but she's been behind me and everyone on this stage and everyone sitting down, the whole football team, since day one, and she's just the best team mom we've ever had. And I think I speak for everyone when I say this, that we love you, Miss Connie, and thank you for all you've done for us.
I want to thank a lot of you, all of you. I've received some. very encouraging words from you guys. I love you and I appreciate you. I love you. That's it. Y'all go home. I wasn't going to do that. I don't know why I did it. I'm sorry. But hey, I hope tonight went well. We've had a good time. I'm going to miss you boys.